Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I am Dr. Sudeep, a radiologist working in Dubai, and this video is about the FRCR 2A exam preparation and how to pass the exam in 6 weeks. So the time is the most important criteria according to me if you want to pass the FRCR 2A exam. It is a test of your theory knowledge, but it is more of an application based of how you can apply your theory knowledge to clinical scenarios. So the time is the most important thing. If you have 6 weeks to prepare, then you need to focus on the difficult subjects or the difficult topics in a particular subject, and then give less time to the easier subjects and revise the difficult ones again, so that you are well versed with the clinical questions which are asked in the exam. Versus if you have 6 months of time, then maybe you can read a textbook and then do more thorough reading. But in case if you have 6 weeks, then maybe this is what I can share with you, which I did. Just briefly touching upon the eligibility and the exam structure. So once you pass the FRCR part 1, which is the physics and the anatomy, you can give the part 2A exam. The criteria are listed on the Royal College website, which you can have a look. The exam structure is basically, the exam will be marked out of 240 questions. So basically there are 6 systems and each system will have 40 questions, but they will hold the exam split into 2, which each part will have around 120 questions over 3 hours. So you'll have basically 2 papers of 120 questions each, which are for a period of 3 hours. But the exam is marked as one exam out of 240. There is no individual passing. The passing rate according to anecdotal instances is around 60 to 70%, but it depends upon the number of students at that cohort and how difficult or easy are the exam questions. A lot of online resources are available where you can find resources and how to study, and various other study guides are available. So you can all have a look at that as well, which is probably Radiology Cafe, Radio Gyan, etc. In terms of the resources which I used 3 or 4 MCQ books, and I used some online resources, and I took a course as well. So the MCQ books I'll start and I'll link all the books and in the description below, so please have a look at that. So the first book I did is sort of Stuart Curry. It is a small book, has got a fair amount of explanation in it. So, and there are 6 systems, so I did it system wise. I finished all the questions in a particular system, I marked all of them, and then I read the explanations. As I was reading the explanations, I used basically the Notion app to create a note of the important points of the answers which I did not get correctly, or I could not understand, like I needed more reading in it. So because I did not have time to read a textbook, so what I did is I just opened the Notion app, and in a page I basically started writing down the important points. Say for example, the differentiation between a neuroblastoma and a Wilms tumor, or the differences between polysplenia and asplenia. These are the topics which there will be a question asked in the exam, so you have to sort of know which comes in what. So in that situation, there is always a good thing to have maybe a picture diagram in your note, where you can just refer to it on and off, so that it just gets drilled into your memory. As I finished Curie, then I started doing the Richard Lindsay Oxford Training Group book, and that is the most important book for the exam. The level of difficulty on those MCQ books are as equivalent as the exam. Sometimes they are even more difficult than that. The explanations are high quality and very good, so you should read all the explanations. Again, what I did is I made some notes out of the difficult topics or the difficult questions. It will take time to finish that book, but you have to read that book cover to cover. I did it first during my first preparation, and then I did it second time a week before my exam. So I did that book over 2 times. The second time obviously it went off faster, which I'll tell about later. Then is the Get Through FRCR 2A exam book. This is a book which has got 7 to 8 mock exams inside it, and each paper has got 120 questions. So what I would do is I would time myself for 3 hours, so that to get into a habit for sitting for 3 hours at one place and then doing the questions. Most important is the questions are randomly asked in the mock papers. They will come from all systems, giving equal weightage to all systems. So you will actually try to get a feel of the exam while you're doing those mock papers. So time yourself, do those mock papers, and then read through the explanations, which are also equally good in that exam. And once you have understood where are your weak areas, make the notes, put it in the Notion app, and then sort of revise them. So as you are reading, your notes will go on increasing, and they will be condensed important points. So you don't have to sort of read an entire textbook. You can just refer it maybe for a few points if you want to, but your app will be basically the explanations and the key points which are asked in a particular question, which you will be able to revise over and over again. Kshitij Mankad has got a book for the theory. It is sort of a concise revision. I couldn't finish that whole book, but it's a good resource to use. Again, I'll link it in the description, so if anybody is interested, you can read through that book as well. Online MCQs were the FRCR exam prep. You can take a subscription, say from 1 month to all the way up to 1 year as well. So, and you can do it in timed mode and tutor mode. So I used to do it in the timed mode in the later part. Initially I did it in the tutor mode, but then I realized that I was not finishing as many questions and I was spending too much time on one question. So once you do it in the timed mode, then you sort of give yourself a particular time. You finish 60 questions or 120 questions in 3 hours, and then you just read it in a couple of hours or 3 hours, and that is how you can get through more questions. It has got around 1500 to 1700 questions. Some of them easy, some of them are a little difficult, some of them are a little bit of anatomy based questions, but there are good high quality questions as well. The other was the Masterpass book. Sorry, this is the previous resource which I was mentioning to. This is the Masterpass book by Robin Proctor. It has got 2 volumes, A and B, and it has got around 1200 questions. So the book is pretty much, the questions are pretty much straightforward, so it helps to sort of drill the important concepts in your head. So that book is very useful to you if you just want to know the basics of everything. That is covered very nicely in that book, and you can finish that book very quickly. So I started doing that book after I had finished Curie, and I was reading through the Oxford book, because the Oxford book used to take time. So sometime when you're not in the frame of mind to do like those heavy hard questions, I would do the Masterpass book and I would sort of finish quickly most of the questions. Each subject has got, or rather there are 6 sections, and each section has got 3 papers. So there are like around 200 or 250 questions in each section. So you can sort of do a paper at a time, get through the questions, read the explanation. They are short explanations, not too long explanations. So that book gets over very faster. So coming back to the online, there is also the BR mobile app as well. It is only for iPhone. It has got questions which replicate the exam pattern. Little expensive, I would say. I did take it at the last 8 days or so, and you can finish those maybe in a day or 2 also at the end of your preparation, just to give you more confidence that you are now able to answer questions randomly from all systems. So maybe you can take that as well. What I did is also the Crack the Core book, which is used by the American College Radiology graduates to pass the ABR. They use a book called as Crack the Core. It's an excellent book. Some use it even as a textbook. But in volume 2 of that book is something called as a strategy chapter, which is basically a nutshell or a condensed part of the important points which are required to be sort of memorized before the exam. And I can remember like there were at least 10 or maybe 10 questions which I could answer directly because I had read that strategy chapter. Like for example, it will give a pictorial chart of the interstitial lung diseases. It will give you a pictorial a sort of all the connective tissue disorders and their appearances on the chest CT or in the chest X-ray. So just revise that 2 or 3 times before the exam, and you will be able to get fair amount of questions very easily just by knowing that, and do it at maybe in the middle or the end of your preparation. I started doing this in the last 2 weeks and I read it a couple of times. Courses, I did the Liverpool FRCR 2A online course. It was held online for the first time. So we had lectures and then there was a mock exam at the end. The lectures are of very good quality. They were by all consultants who were in the UK, and there was a timed mock exam at the end which was of 120 questions, and we were given the discussion for the explanations. It is a good course. It can give you more confidence just before your exam. It was just 2 weeks before my exam. So once you've done all this preparation, say for 4 weeks, then maybe the course just helps you to sort of reinforce that knowledge and give you more confidence, because confidence is the most important thing when you're going to give the exam. You have to feel that you will be able to pass the exam, and that will come through your intensive preparation. Once you make a system and then that system works for you every single time, then you will pass the exam. The last 2 weeks I did not read anything new. I just revised my notes which I had made in Notion, and I revised the Oxford Speciality book by Richard Lindsay. Again, I did it for the second time. So this time it went off faster. My exam center, I had taken it in the UK, so there was a certain period of time that was required for traveling to the UK, because I had to quarantine myself there. I had to do my day 2 test over there for COVID. My exam center was in Brig End, which was another 2-hour ride from London. One day before the exam, I didn't study anything. I just sort of shut all my books. It's very important to get into the zone of the exam and not keep cramming till the end. This is the way I approached it. Each one has its own approach, so you can just feel whichever works for you. But this is what works for me, that I don't study right towards the end of the exam. I just stopped a day before, maybe just take a walk in the park or something like that. My exam center was, say, around 10-15 minutes away from the place where I was staying. Most important is to be relaxed. It's not very easy. You cannot force yourself to be relaxed, because immediately you will start panicking. But if your preparation is good, and if you have not crammed up like last minute things, and if you have sort of developed a good conceptual understanding of the things which are asked, then I don't think so there will be difficulty in passing the exam. The questions on the exam will not be very straightforward. They will not be as long enough as well, which are there in the Richard Lindsay book. I found that they were maybe 3 lines or 5 lines. They weren't as longer, but definitely they will test the knowledge. They will test the application of your knowledge. Like, you have to apply what you've known. They won't directly ask you the causes of superior rib notching are all except. So that won't be a question. They will more ask you on a basis of an application, like maybe a patient has rheumatoid, and maybe a patient has erosion of the clavicle. So you sort of infer from that maybe it could be rheumatoid, and then you sort of look if the patient is having any rib notching or something like that. So it will be sort of more of an application based question. Time management is, I think, very critical for the exam, because you will get 120 minutes or 3 hours to do 120 questions. So sometimes you might spend too much time on a question thinking about it. So it's a computer based exam, so you can always flag that question and come back to it later. The answers which you absolutely know, maybe you can just answer them directly. The answers which you absolutely don't know and you just want to guess, then guess and just continue moving. But the questions which you think are going to require some thinking, just read that question, and if you feel that it is going to require a little bit of thinking because 2 answers are seeming correct, and you need to work through that question, then don't spend time on that question at that time, because then you are going to delay your finishing of the entire 120 questions, because there is no negative marking, so you have to attempt all questions anyways. So what you do is the questions which need your thinking, you can come back to them later. So flag them. Once you flag them, you can come back to it at the end. So the questions which you absolutely know and the questions which you absolutely don't know, just mark them and move ahead. And the thinking questions maybe can be approached at the end. So you will have sufficient time, and this way you would have finished all the 120 questions as well. Most importantly, this time the exam was held over 2 days. Usually the exam is held in 1 day, where there is 1 paper in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. But luckily we had an exam over 2 days. So this sort of gave us a little bit of a rest and a break in between the 2 exams, so that we could mentally refresh ourselves and come back on the second day. So that's very important. But we don't know whether that will happen in the future, or this was just for this time they had done it. Most important is to look at the curriculum on the Royal College website. They have updated the curriculum in August of this year. There are certain sections which have been added, some are deleted, so you can have a look at that as well. Most important is to start your preparation by MCQs. So you have to begin with MCQs from day 1, because they are not going to test how much of knowledge you have. They are going to test how much of the application you are able to do. So, and the way the questions are asked, you have to get into the frame of answering questions and understanding how they are framed and how they are asked, how they can twist the question. Maybe 2 options might seem correct, so how to infer and deduct. Each and every line in the question is going to be giving you a clue to the answer. They will not put any random fact in the question. They are so tightly condensed information that is given in the question in few lines that you have to use every bit of it: the age, the gender, the what modalities have been used, what is the appearance, and what are the options. So you have to read through the question very properly and correctly. So yeah, I think this is in a nutshell what I think may be sufficient enough of a time that if you can do say 3 or 4 MCQ books. Most important is to do mock exams frequently through the middle of your preparation towards the end. Revise what you have read, maybe make a note in an app. I use the Notion app to just write all my notes down. You can maybe use a Word document as well, so that you can carry it easily with you anywhere. You can reread through those notes again, and once you keep rereading it, I think that is what helped me, because at the end of it, when you keep rereading the same difficult things again and again, then it just comes to you naturally. You will just be able to answer the questions very easily. So and time management during the exam is most important. So if you can sort of do 40 questions an hour and then maybe do the tricky questions at the end, and the easier and the very difficult questions can be finished off early, then maybe it'll become more easier for you. And just have a calm, cool mind. The exam is not impossible to pass. It is and it's not very easy as well, but I would definitely say if you've prepared well, then it should not be difficult to pass it. So all the best, and wish you all the success for the 2A exam, and even maybe if you're appearing for the 2B exam, if you've already cleared the 2A. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. And if you like the content of this channel, please share and subscribe so that I can continue to making more videos which will be helpful to all of you. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.